Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Lunar Chris, and welcome to yet another Mega Man wishlist video. After a long period of procrastination, you probably know the drill by now, so I'll just cut to the chase here. Mega Man Maker really needs more stuff added to give creators more variety to make levels the best they can. Even for all the assets we now have, there's still plenty that has yet to be added, especially when it comes to weapons, gimmicks, and some features I'm willing to propose for this video. So without further ado, let's get her done and list away! Starting off with our weapons and gadgets, we've got Black Hole from Mega Man World 5. Mega Man will spawn a black hole overhead and suck up any nearby enemies weak against it. It will also stop time for a brief period, followed by a flurry of bullets. This weapon is basically Black Hole Bomb, but better since it's a screen nuke and it also fires projectiles, making this the most unique screen nuke in Mega Man. Also from Mega Man World 5, Photon Missile. A projectile that propels forward at blazing speeds after a brief period, piercing armor and dismantling weaker enemies. For some improvements, this weapon should tunnel through dust blocks, dropped blocks, pull eggs, and destroy cracked blocks. Up next from Mega Man 7, Junk Shield. This will protect you by absorbing damage, weathering down the more enemies you destroy with it. You can also launch it to deal greater damage to enemies, giving this weapon cool usage as an attack. Adding this weapon, of course, means they'll have to add the animation for when Freeze Man takes damage from it. Up next from Mega Man 8, Astro Crush. Yet another screen nuke that would be cool to have since Mega Man Maker doesn't have very many to begin with. You'll summon meteorites that fall from the sky and destroy everything in its wake, basically Armageddon if you'd rather. It also makes you invincible for a brief period, which is cool and could be very useful for puzzle levels and whatnot. Straight out of Mega Man in Base, Remote Mine, a bomb that you can control to go up or down when fired. Its damage output is monstrous against enemies as it deals 2 per hit, making it ideal for even the tanky mini-bosses. This weapon would make for a great use in puzzle levels, and would also be a great alternative to Commando Bomb since it's not nearly as awkward to use. Jumping straight to Mega Man 11, we have Chain Blast. Mega Man can fire up to 4 of these at a time, then chain them together for a massive explosion dealing greater damage. They can either be detonated after a period of time or by pressing down an attack. Though we won't ever get a double gear system in Mega Man Maker, I'm perfectly fine with this weapon as is. The few changes I will propose for this weapon are for the bomb's speed to be affected by whether or not you're moving horizontally, and make it destroy cracked blocks and guts blocks. This would give the weapon some slight complexity and better usage than it already has. And for the last weapon we have Blazing Torch, a fireball that launches diagonally in the air and comes crashing down. We really are in need for more fire weapons, including ones that are powerful and go in an arc. This is one weapon where I would like to have both the normal and power gear versions, the latter firing 3 projectiles downwards for greater damage. Now for our utilities, we're starting off with Rush Marine. This utility didn't get much use in any of the games it appears in, so for it to be in Mega Man Maker would be great since people can make underwater levels that require Rush Marine. Next up, straight out of Mega Man World 5, yet again, Rush Space. This is basically a combination of Rush Jet and Rush Marine, but only moves in one direction. However, I feel the developers could make this similar to Rush Marine or Treble Booster, where you can fly wherever you want, which admittedly is the only way this utility will stand out. Just like with Rush Marine, people could get a lot of use out of Rush Space where they can make all kinds of on-rail shooters and whatnot. The Balloon utility from Mega Man 4. Similar to Item 1 from Mega Man 2, this will spawn a platform that moves upwards, allowing you to reach higher places. If the wire utility is getting added in, this should also go with it. I honestly feel it would be genuinely weird not to have this in as well. And for our last utility, from Mega Man 5 and 6, Beat the Bird. This Flicky of Death will follow you around to destroy any enemy it touches. Be the ultimate bird tamer with Beat and make your enemies cry in fear by the might of this little bird. I would say use the sprite from the official games, but since they already made their own Beat sprite, I wouldn't mind this version being used as long as the weapon functions the same. Well guys, if you thought my weapons and utilities list was hefty, wait until you see the gimmicks. And starting things off from Mega Man 1, we've got the Guts Man drop platforms. These move around on rails, but will drop the player if on thin rails. We're in need for more on-rails platforms, and this would be great for some more variety. Also, please give us some more colors for this thing as well. The Met Spawner, an unused element from Mega Man 2, which, as you could probably guess, spawns metals. If we have spawners for Fire Mets, Gyoris, and Sea Mines to name a few, then I don't see why Metal shouldn't get a spawner of their own. This can not only spawn the Mega Man 2 versions though, but could also spawn different Mets from other games as well. For additional options, there could be a toggle for whether it spawns Mets continuously or only when one Met is killed. There could also be a counter for how many Mets are spawned at once, going all the way up to 4. The Cloud Platforms from Mega Man 3. These activate only when you're on the platform and take you up high. There could be an option for the platform to be spawned from the platform, or it could be just like with the Top Man platforms where they spawn instantly. If the developers want to take this even further though, they could also make them go horizontal. I advocate for this gimmick to be added in Mega Man Maker because Mega Man 3 is in desperate need for another or two. Next up from Mega Man 6, the Jet Platforms. They're just platforms that go up and down. Mega Man 6 could also use some more gimmicks, let alone simple ones at that. The Cloud Platforms from Mega Man 7. These behave kind of like the Kaminari Goro platforms, but they can either be frozen or electrocuted for some cool effects. They could also come with an option to move in a set path that's determined by the player. Wind from Mega Man 8. As seen in Tengu Man, this will push the player to make for some challenging platforming, similar to Rain from Mega Man 9. Like the aforementioned gimmick, this wind could also have speed options for how strong it will push you. Propeller Platforms from Mega Man 9. These will take you up when using Tornado Blow. You can customize how long the rail is, along with more colors, an upside down variant, and could also come with a version that's powered by electric weapons. There is just so much potential with this platform, especially for anyone wanting to make puzzle or escort levels with these. Sheepman Conveyors from Mega Man 10. Running on these things will power up some platforms that flip up until their juice is out. You can set up what conveyors power which platforms, or allow all conveyors to power up all platforms. These could also be used for the Octoball mini-boss for authenticity. See my previous video for more details. Also from Mega Man 10, Crusher. These will try to crush the player by slamming the floor, each crusher going on an interval. These would be the perfect gimmick to add for anyone wanting to make good industrial-themed stages, especially since Mega Man 10 got no new gimmicks in 1.9.
Why?
Where the hell am I?
New Jersey.
Shit.
For broader customization, they could come with alternate skins from Dustman and Wily Fortress 1 for Mega Man 4 and 5 respectively. They could also go upside down to crush from below as well, eliminating the use of crash lifts or foot holders to create makeshift crushers. Auto Scroll, as seen in Mega Man 4. It's literally exactly as it sounds. This can scroll the screen horizontally or vertically, and the speed can be adjusted from sluggish to lightning speed, similar to firewalls from Mega Man 11. Though a highly requested feature, I too would more than kill to have this new gimmick in Mega Man Maker. Please developers, make this gimmick a reality. And finally, for an original gimmick from yours truly, a time checker block. The time block checker activates based on how many minutes you've spent in a level. These blocks are affected globally, meaning even if you restart from a checkpoint, the block will still be active based on the logic check. The logic check from the time block can be greater than or equal to, and the exact opposite. The amount of time that you can set is based on minutes, which can go up to 99. I propose making this new gimmick for Mega Man Maker because it would be a perfect addition for people wanting to make speedrun levels or a makeshift ranking system like myself. Speaking of which, I actually happen to make such a thing based on how much health you have by the end, but this gimmick I concede would definitely be a godsend for everyone. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're officially at the home stretch with features and improvements, some of which I greatly feel are more than essential for editor-type games like Mega Man Maker. But I'm gonna start things small and then work my way up from there. First up is artwork-accurate colors for enemies, such as Returning Sniper Joe in his Wily Wars color, Robit, Escaru, Minowan, Seamine, Skullmet, Mausubil, pardon me if I mispronounced that, Tondil, Bata Batan, Benkei, and Katobayan. Weapon Swap Capsule. A capsule that swaps any weapon that's not in your arsenal, eliminating the trouble of limited weapon slots or to give the feeling of upgrading one of your weapons a la RPGs. Parallax Backgrounds. Make backgrounds that would feel far away and make your levels feel larger than life. This can be done on a screen-by-screen basis. Map Screen. For anybody wanting to make Metroidvania levels, this is the perfect feature for you. This allows you to see where bosses are and where you are currently positioned, just like with the X mod by Red 1. It can also be active when the player is on the same screen as the map feature itself. Base's Hyper Buster. I'm basically gonna take the two Buster shots from Mega Man and Base and combine them into one. This is a buster shot that not only goes through terrain, but also deals better damage than the default base buster. This would work greatly, especially with all of the beefy enemies we've been getting in Mega Man Maker these days. Mega Man's Arrow Shot, a charge shot that more or less functions the same as the laser shot, but is far more powerful and unleashes 5 shots upon hitting enemies. It also pierces shields, making this the better option between this and the laser shot. Also from Mega Man 8, the Hyper Slide / Roll. This allows Mega Man, Proto Man, and Roll to slide, or roll, faster and farther. This toggle can be stacked with the dodge roll for even more efficiency. Additional background colors. It would be great to have more of these to make them fit with certain level themes. I even made a few to give the developers some ideas. Transparent section water. A nice and convenient way to use transparent water, all without having to use individual water. One-way screen transitions. An option for players to only move in one direction in a screen transition, similar to Mario Brothers. A hard mode setting for Mega Man 10 Robot Masters. This incorporates boss patterns for Mega Man 10's hard mode, giving players more options to how their bosses behave. A normal mode option for Mega Man 2 enemies. All the enemies have their HP halved, making certain enemies to deal with. This can only pertain specifically to Mega Man 2 enemies and nothing more. For an additional option for one of the bosses, Fireman turning on cliffs. This will allow Fireman to turn on cliffs, allowing players to make unique boss rooms with him. Edit levels through online. Allows creators to edit levels they've uploaded so they can fix anything that's broken, eliminating the need to upload a fixed version or redesign that level entirely. The only stipulation that should be in place is to make the creator complete their level for any changes to take effect. It would be tedious as all hell and a real pain in the ass at that, but I still think it would make sense to have for the sake of ensuring that the level is completable. On the subject of levels, a level difficulty toggle. This innovative feature would give levels greater complexity and a sense of choice for players. When this is toggled, the player could select what enemies or objects will appear in any difficulty of their choice. Hard mode will contain everything from the lower difficulties while containing everything attributed to it. Pick up pause toggle. Developers, please, add this already! I am so sick and tired of dying from this stupid pause when picking up weapon energy. Like, oh my god! This has gotten me killed more often than anything in the game! Please, add this toggle to Mega Man Maker! Please? Attach object mode. A toggle that allows creators to attach anything to gimmicks, such as enemies, pickups, and even bosses. Say goodbye to having to place Sniper Joes at really high heights for them to get on those damn crash lifts. Start from checkpoint, an editor feature that could make testing levels much easier. I propose this improvement to Mega Man Maker because it feels tedious to place the player everywhere or anywhere in the level and then saving constantly after returning them to the start of the level. This would eliminate that tedium and make testing levels feel more streamlined. Grid alignment setting. As somebody who can get OCD with my level design, it would be a blessing if this was added to Mega Man Maker. This setting could have the options of 16x16 and 8x8 pixels, one tile and half tile respectively. This setting will affect enemies, pickups, decorations, level objects, bosses, and the player character. This would also be great to have for people that are making level recreations or just want things to be nice and neat. Win conditions. Similar to Mega Man 2, creators can set up how the player will complete the level. This can range from defeating a certain amount of enemies or bosses, bolts collected, assuming they ever add that to begin with, total targets destroyed, avoid taking damage, what weapon you need to get, and the list goes on. This was a really cool way to give Mario Maker 2 some depth, and I argue that the same would apply for Mega Man Maker. Finally, for the last big feature I have in stock, the trigger system. I know we do have this in some capacity with certain objects, but it's only relegated to bosses and nothing more. The trigger options could boil down to how many enemies defeated, keys collected, how much weapon energy or HP you need, or when the trigger is on screen. And finally, for just one last little thing, the online builder mode is completely outdated because it doesn't contain any of the improvements introduced in 1.9, for some baffling reason. I'm just gonna hope that it'll get fixed because it really isn't up to snuff with all the improvements to the base game. And there you have it, folks! That is my wish list, and the end of the wish list video series as a whole. I'll admit that some of this stuff I'm asking for is a little unrealistic as far as features and improvements are concerned, but I figured some people would agree with me on some of these entries nonetheless. But I want to know what you guys think. Are some of my suggestions really cool? Would you have something else in mind? What other features would you like to see added in Mega Man Maker? Or weapons, gimmicks, whatever it is that your heart desires. Comment below, let me know, share this video if you liked what you saw, and I will see you all later. Till next time, everybody, this is Lunar signing out. Thanks for watching.